Welcome to the show today. President Trump has called for the investigation and arrest of some certain individuals, guys. Investigations big time into Nancy Pelosi for what he says is insider trading, and also the Durham report has been released this morning, guys. This is massive news. Declassified files that now reveal explicitly Hillary Clinton working with former President Obama in sabotaging President Trump's first term in presidency and campaign. Guys, this is huge. The Durham Annex has been declassified. It's been released. It's exposing the Clinton campaign plan, guys. The Steele dossier, all of it was 100% false, cooked up. Trump says this is treason and this is criminal. Guys, this is massive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. They found that the Obama FBI failed to investigate intel that the Clinton campaign likely concocted the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. The FBI then used the fake Steele dossier created by the Hillary Clinton campaign to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on Trump's campaign via Carter Page. So again, this is massive. I'm going to show you the receipts in a moment. We literally have the emails now that shows that Hillary Clinton planned, guys, and not only planned to work within the government to go after Trump, but then planned with the media, the left-wing media, guys, to go after and feed the report, put gas on the fire to make this so big, so huge that everybody would believe it. This is treason, guys, to me. This is 100% trying to do a coup against a sitting president. Not only that, the Steele dossier was pushed despite clear flaws in the documents. FBI leaders ignored intelligence that discredited the Russia collusion claims. Under Comey, the FBI dismissed evidence that Clinton campaign created the hoax but used the dossier to secure the illegal FISA warrants. So everything's been released now. Now it's up to Pam Bondi to go after the Clintons, to go after the Obama, the top admin officials. Everybody in America is going to know. You cannot deny the emails that we have, guys. This is huge. Should somebody go to prison? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm ready to see it. Not only that, President Trump has demanded investigations into Nancy Pelosi for insider stock trading. He said, and I quote, "You know Nancy Pelosi became rich by having insider information to stocks. I think that's disgraceful. I think this is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated. She has the highest rate of return practically of anybody in the history of Wall Street. How did that happen? She knew exactly what was going on." And again, guys, you think it stops there. Not only has the Durham Annex report been released, Trump is calling for Pelosi to be investigated. DNI Tulsi Gabbard has just confirmed major bombshell evidence for the 2020 election fraud that actually happened. Federal government knew about the voting machine vulnerabilities, the mail-in ballot voter vulnerabilities. There's been whistleblowers that have brought forward information that the federal government was aware of the vulnerabilities in our election machines, and they chose not to disclose that to the American people and the administration at the time. So you tell me, guys, Trump was right about dang everything. The fake news, the fake Russia hoax, spying on his campaign, this 2020 stolen rigged election, and guys, big news again. Congressional members are moving to privatize Social Security and get rid of what they call it as a Ponzi scheme as it currently sits. They said you never get what you pay into. It's going to become insolvent in 9 years because almost 4 million illegals were given Social Security under Biden administration. And Trump says that we have to bring a newness to the Social Security program. He said, "I'm going to bring the money in. Don't waste it." He's talking about the new tariff money. So guys, so much bombshell breaking news today. Let me know your thoughts. What do you want to hear, guys? Because this is insane. We're going to show you that Trump's kicking butt with the tariffs, but we have the released Durham Annex reports, guys. And Hillary Clinton, she better be lowering up because it's coming. want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We could not do it without you. And if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button so that we can take care of you every day with the top news. Want to thank everybody that is a member of the channel, those that have given a super chat donation already. Want to give some special love to Sherry Smith. Show Sherry some love in the chat. And thank you to everybody that supports us in our giving. Remember, when you donate, when you're a member, we donate this money live on stream on the 22nd of every single month to a local charity, and we are changing lives. This is massive, guys. We are so excited about what's coming. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we really appreciate your support. We want to continue serving you. Today's a big news. Not only are you going to get to see all the receipts, guys, you are going to get to be able to see the next steps that are coming for these corrupt individuals. But again, where does it all start? Trump is saying, just get out of my way, because he is bulldozing for America. Check this out.
When the experts told us that what Trump was doing wouldn't work, I think recently they predicted it was only 2.3% GDP growth was going to be. 1.1 was good under Biden, if you remember. But yeah, that's weird. He outperformed that kind of by a lot.
GDP comes out better than expected, 3%, complete reversal of the first quarter.
3%? That was well above the Fed Chair Jerome Powell's target rate, what he said he needed to lower interest rates, which he's, again, refused to do today. And Trump called him out on Truth Social, saying, second quarter GDP just out 3%, way better than expected. Too late, must now lower the interest rate. No inflation, let people buy and refinance their homes.
Yes.
And in any other normal economy, without a Trump-hating Fed chair, that would happen. You see, since the Fed took over interest rates, which, by the way, I don't think was a good idea, in an ideal economy, inflation is just under interest rates. For instance, if you have a 1% inflation rate, you shouldn't have much more than a 2% interest rate, which is what we had in Trump's first term. Growth exploded. Conversely, when inflation spikes, like it did under Jimmy Carter, when Reagan came in and appointed Volcker to run the Fed, they had to raise interest rates to like 18% to counteract the inflation at the same time. Now, I've talked about this before, about only two levers to control our economy. Congress controls fiscal policy, which means how much money we spend and how much we're taxed. If Congress spends more money and doesn't tax us more, they have to print more money to cover their balance. We've been doing this for the last, actually longer than the last 25 years, but really ramped up in the last 25 years, which is why we have $37 trillion in debt. And what's that done? Inflation. If you had $1 in your pocket in the year 2000 and you went to sleep and you woke up today with the same dollar in your pocket, it's only worth 52 cents.
God.
The US dollar, I mean, it's depreciated by almost 50% in 25 years, and that's because we put more dollars in the system. We printed more. Don't even get me started on leaving the gold standard. That's a whole nother day.
Guys, and again, too, all this ties into what I just told you about Trump privatizing Social Security, moving forward with just changing the entire government structure on how we generate revenue, external revenue service, guys. And this is big. This just came out, and I got to show you the receipts, guys, because, again, this is blowing up everything. Trump is making America great again through bringing in so much revenue through the External Revenue Service, but at the same time draining the swamp and exposing everybody. So the Durham Annex report has been released. There is Soros' alleged ties to the Russiagate exposed in the declassified annex of the Durham report. I told you guys, we bring you the receipts. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Listen to this. This is the evidence, guys, that George Soros over Open Society's Leonardo Bernardo, I know, crazy name, but this is in here where it says that the FBI will advance our agenda. Now, you tell me, guys, look at this right here. It's bigger whenever you see it like this. That's why I'm keeping it like this. You tell me, when it comes to any NGO, remember, Democrats love their NGOs, and it comes to controlling a sitting government, like in Congress and all that, where they are literally utilizing the money our taxpayer money to advance a foreign entity's agenda. That's what's being exposed right here. The FBI, this is just the clip from it. The FBI will advance our agenda. This is literally in this document, guys. It's from the released reports today. And this is where, again, we bring you the receipts, guys. This is just so nuts. Again, we go back to where is the money going? It's our taxpayer dollars that we're dealing with. Trump's bringing in more. But now what's the next steps?
Other lever in controlling the economy. They sell bonds to us or foreign countries or whoever will buy them to cover the money they print, borrow, which they pay interest on. And the key point that makes bonds attractive is that they're government guaranteed, low risk, and the interest rate usually outperforms the depreciation rate of the dollar. The way the economy keeps from crashing, though, is if you were to, give that same dollar to the government to buy their bonds, in return from interest on that bond would be greater than the depreciation of your value. So your dollar wouldn't lose value if you invested in bonds. That's the whole scheme here, okay? And here's where it gets really interesting. If there's too much interest being paid on your dollar compared to inflation, it's great for you in the short run, you're making a ton of money. But in the long run, your tax dollars are actually paying that interest that you are earning. Government's taking a ton of your money and only giving you a little bit back. And this is what Trump is faced with right now. In the coming months, we need to refinance about $7 trillion worth of our debt, or those bonds, that we've guaranteed people a return on. The current interest rate that Powell is holding is 4.5%. If those bonds, our debt, are refinanced at that current rate, the federal government will be paying out $315 billion a year just in interest. That has to be paid for by tax revenue or borrowing money, which also requires interest on that. But if Jerome Powell lowers it to 1%, as Trump has been calling for, that's very aggressive, but I'm with him on that one, it would only cost us $70 billion to service that every single year. Now, here's something that the economist and all the king's horses and all the king's men don't consider when they make prediction on Trump's economy. Growth. Trump has he's shattered conventional knowledge of economic function by forcing growth. Look, his tariffs are working when everybody said they wouldn't. GDP at 3%, 30% higher than most predictions out there. And look, my man is a real estate guy. And what do real estate people do? They build stuff. Jerome Powell is wrongly placed, had a bunch of wrongly placed concerns actually, but this is one of them, that if he lowers interest rates too much, they won't be able to sell bonds because the yield, or the amount of money made off them for the buyers, you and I, won't be attractive enough to invest in, to attract investors, which will push people into the stock market, which, by the way, will make the Fed lose power, and it will create a boom away from bonds.
Guys, again, what they can't predict is what you're seeing here on the screen. This is so massive, guys, because again, too, Trump is literally in the works of solidifying a deal with China, and he just got this done, this trade deal with South Korea. 15% tariff on Korean goods imported to the U.S. 0 tariffs on U.S. goods imported to South Korea. South Korea will give $350 billion for investments in U.S. firms, and South Korea will buy $100 billion of liquid natural gas. Now, guys, again, you didn't see this at all in the last administration. This is all Trump-esque. This is all deal maker, holding firm the backbone of the United States markets, our power. And again, this is what the CBO can't predict. This is what Jerome Powell can't predict, yet they're holding Americans hostage, won't lower the interest rates. We're 38th in the entire world when it comes to the highest interest rates. It is horrible. We should be at the low end. We should be in the top 5, but we're 38 because Jerome Powell won't lower it. And I got to show you this too, guys, because this just, again, everybody's dropping all the receipts for the just newly declassified Durham report. And this is big, guys. Newly declassified files show Hillary Clinton personally signed off on the plan to link Trump to Russia in 2016. This is the actual email. The first sentence says HRC, Hillary Reagan Clinton. I think that's her middle name, right? Hillary Clinton approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing emails, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. The point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue. Say something like a critical infrastructure threat for the election to feel menaced, since both POTUS and POTUS have acknowledged the fact it would speed up searching for evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. Do you hear this, guys? She approved Julie's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. And still we haven't, this was all classified. Nobody knew about this. Our intelligence, our cabinet just got this out. That's why a lot of people are saying that Hillary Clinton's going to be indicted. That's why they're saying that we're going to see hearings, subpoenas. This is one of the bombshell emails, guys. And we are bringing everything to you right now. Trump is 100% focused on you, while his team is doing what? Is focused on the economy. All the new tariff deals. Listen to this, guys, because this is what's coming to America. If we can put more money back into Americans' pockets, the economy starts to grow, we hold these corrupt people, individuals accountable, we will be able to finally have trust in our government.
The mortgage, the interest, and the home. That's literally half the price, half the payments every month. Currently, we're nearing a crisis point with the amount of homes on the market. The value of homes increased so much in the last few years that everybody's putting their homes on the market, hoping to make a buck. But because my generation is not, let's just say, excelled as much in the workforce as the boomers, there's not enough buyers. Also, people who took out 5 or 7 year interest-only ARMs at 1, 2, maybe even 3% are now having to refinance those maturing mortgages at not 2%, but 6.5%, many of which they can't afford that type of interest rate adjustment. That literally doubles your mortgage every month, pushing a large supply of houses onto the market. As a result, we haven't seen this many houses sit on the market this long since before the 2008 financial crisis, which Trump actually said today he's starting with the veteran home loan protections.
So I'm thrilled to sign the VA Home Loan Program Reform Act into law, and that is something that they've wanted to do for a long time. This legislation provides desperately needed relief to veterans and their families who have fallen behind on their mortgages, which are a lot, because we have somebody that doesn't want to lower interest rates. Probably won't lower them today. It's a really sort of an amazing situation.
There it is. This is just another reason why Trump is pushing so hard to lower those interest rates, to make it cheaper for the newer generation, or really anyone, to buy homes.
Yes.
And he's trying to prevent another 2008 crash. Because
again, guys, right now the average age of a U.S. home buyer jumps to 56. Homes are wildly expensive right now. Like, this is nuts. We used to have it around the age of 30. It's literally 56 because nobody can afford it anymore. So, guys, I want to switch gears right here because this is so massive. I hope you appreciate this, guys, because, again, too, we want to show you everything that's going on right now. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is massive, okay? Trump's administration has declassified the Durham Annex reports. They discovered in the burn bags right here inside a secret room, confirming that Hillary Clinton conspired with Obama's FBI to fabricate the Russia collusion hoax. The Steele dossier was pushed despite clear flaws. The FBI leaders ignored intelligence that discredited the Russia collusion claim. Under Comey, the FBI dismissed evidence that Clinton campaign created the hoax. They used the dossier to secure illegal FISA warrants on Carter's page. Now, I just showed you guys, this is one of the other pages that's been released, but I showed you right here in this one, this released email. that HRC approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russia hackers hampering. Well, guess what? Now it's what's going to happen next. They are going to go after Hillary Clinton and Obama as well, because there's some things. If Obama, whenever he signed off on all this stuff as president, he had the presidential immunity. If he lies under oath in a subpoena to Congress, now as a regular citizen, he can go to jail, guys. Listen to this.
Caroline Wren joins us. Caroline, we got the 3 R's. You get.
Oh, sorry, guys. 1 second. Wrong video. Wrong video, right.
John Solomon talking about leading to victory. President, I don't know if I have it. He put out, he reposted a meme about Obama this morning about need an indictment on Barack Obama. I mean, this is the president's.
On Barack Obama.
He's ratcheted this one up, man. We got to stick the landing. There's no choice here. This has never happened in American history. You and I have been doing this for years. We're 100%.
Guys, this is what Trump posted. The sitting president posted this. Obama, it's time to indict Obama, the traitor, for treason. Like, holy crap, guys, this is huge. Have you ever seen this in your lifetime happen with this direct of communication from a sitting president about a former president?
But brother, we got to see some action. What do you got for us this morning, John?
Well, the next action is going to come from Senator Chuck Grassley, who's given us more truth than most people in this town. As I mentioned yesterday on your show, he's going to release the classified annex from John Durham's report. This is the bombshell that we really couldn't talk about in 23 when the report came out because it was classified. What's it going to show? It's going to show that the U.S. Intelligence Committee intercepted the Russians, talking about that they had just confirmed that Hillary Clinton approved on July 26, 2016, a plan to concoct a fake Russian scandal on Donald Trump to move the public dialogue away from her email scandal and to put Donald Trump on the defensive going into the fall election. This information was specific, including that the Russians had ascertained from intercepting Hillary Clinton's emails and conversations or her staff's conversations, that the FBI had agreed to participate in it, to give credence to the allegations by opening. Now, that's on July 26th. What happens on July 31st? The FBI does exactly what the Russians had intercepted and heard. Despite that explosive information, they never fully vetted the intelligence to see if Hillary Clinton had given such an order. But within a day of the order, there was evidence visible to the FBI that Hillary Clinton's people were in action. Alexander Downer, an Australian diplomat, on the 27th of July, goes out and reaches out to the FBI and tries to rat out Papadopoulos. Steele's dossier is working its way through the FBI. Sussman's given, the DNC lawyer is given permission to go shop his stuff to the FBI. And they actually are seeing what the prediction in the Russian intelligence was. And rather than saying, hey, we should be dubious about this, this isn't right, this is a dirty trick and we're playing into it, they just carry out the scheme. They use the powers of law enforcement to make it look like a legitimate legal investigation is going on for what was really a political dirty trick.
When this bombshell is released, where, because President Trump, it's kind of a cry for help. He's sitting there going, hey, because you don't put up a photo of your predecessor and say that you got to see some indictments unless you mean it. When do you think you've got Grassley coming forward? You've been doing this work all of it. When do you think we actually kick in with DOJ and hey, we're on top of this?
So the strike force has been named. I don't know if all the players have been appointed. So it's a slow process. I mean, Pam Bondi needs to put this on steroids and get it going. Her Justice Department has been sleepy. It's been slow. It's been paralyzed by analysis. It's paralyzed by a lack of personnel. We don't have a lot of confirmed U.S. attorneys. That isn't an excuse not to put this on steroids. There are statutes.
Guys, paralysis by analysis, guys. Look at this. Soros' alleged ties to Russiagate exposed in declassified annex of Durham report. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Attorney General Pam Bondi coordinated in the declassification of the annex Grassley made public. Guys, this is massive. Isn't it crazy that every single thing that we've said or was essentially a conspiracy theory of the fake news, the Steele dossier, the Russia collusion hoax, Trump's campaign being spied on by Obama, the fake Steele dossier that allowed them to get the illegal FISA warrant to spy on Trump's campaign, the 2020 elections, that just today, this morning, that Tulsi Gabbard said, oh yeah, we found a lot of evidence that the government knew that there was vulnerabilities with the mail-in ballots and the machines that they could be tampered with, but yet they didn't do anything about it. Everything's been true. Trump's been right about everything, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm just like, we're sitting here and it's like, I want to see accountability. I want to see arrest. I want to see people, money cut off, because again, we're revealing everything, but if nobody goes to jail, they're going to keep doing it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm so tired of the corruption continuing to grow.
Limitations from 20 and 21, they're going to start expiring next year. It's really important that Kash Patel opened up the grand conspiracy case in April. It's now almost August. Prosecutors have not really been doing any work to take that roadmap that the FBI gave us, this evidence from Chuck Grassley and Donald Trump and all these declasses, Tulsi Gabbard, and get going. The logjam or the success story is going to rest with Pam Bondi and the Justice Department. I think she needs to get going. I want to address Obama for a second. I know President Trump has every right to be frustrated with him. I think President Trump's analysis last week was right. I think my immunity rule might protect him on the original charges. That's what most legal experts tell me, that ruling is so sweeping it will protect Obama for what he did in office. However, Barack Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury. He cannot take the Fifth Amendment because he has immunity from prosecution. He'll have to tell the truth. If he lies.
Do you hear that, guys? Obama cannot take the Fifth. He can't plead the Fifth because he has immunity with the president from his time as presidency. But listen to this, because this is super important, guys. I told you, this is where holding people accountable, we can finally get to it.
Barack Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury. He cannot take the Fifth Amendment because he has immunity from prosecution. He'll have to tell the truth. If he lies as a private citizen about what he did as president, he'll no longer have that immunity. And that is a trap that Obama is sitting potentially facing. And I want to say the irony to that, because on January 5th, 2017, he presided over a meeting in the White House where the FBI had just cleared Mike Flynn of any wrongdoing, and they schemed in that meeting how they might be able to jam up Mike Flynn. And they came up with the idea, we'll lure him into an interview, catch him into a lie, and then prosecute him that way. Barack Obama now is about to face a potential similar situation as the one he created unfairly for Mike Flynn.
John, where do people go to get all your content, the 6 o'clock show?
Yeah.
Guys, this is so massive. Again, we're kind of exposing a lot today. This is just, when I see this highlighted in yellow, guys, at the top, HRC approved Julie's idea about the Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email. And then in the second email right below it, this is an important story because it would be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration and publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election. Julia says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. Guys, treason, baby, treason. Golly, this type of stuff, working with the FBI, working with intelligence to go after a sitting president for all this, it just is mind-blowing. Because we're sitting over here, we're trying to make heads of tails, all right, what should be done, what's going on, but then it's like, where is Congress at? And that's what I want to show you right now. Congress needs to get their butt in check, do what they're supposed to do, serve we the people, and stop being in freaking recess. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, like button. Thank you so much for your support, guys.
You got redistricting, you got the rescissions, and you got recess. Why is the Senate, it seems that, why are we having the Senate leave town? and you were there last night. In fact, I'd like you to say a few words. Had a great event put on by Mike Davis in Article 3 over at Raheem Kassam's Butterworth for Emil Bovee. You had Judge Janine there. It was just absolutely incredible. But it shows you the power of what happens when we start getting President Trump's team in. You know, Joe Kent got confirmed yesterday, but these are onesies, twosies. I mean, we got a couple of judges, I think 4 or 5 judges now. You've got, I think she's the first U.S. attorney to actually be confirmed. Segal Chadha and some of the other contributors to the War Room have gotten in because of this acting basis. Of course, they're trying to throw Aline Habab out. Tell me about the event last night and how important it is to actually get our arms around this vast government to get these confirmations done, ma'am.
Yeah, the event last night was wonderful. It was put on by Mike Davis, the Article 3 project. And so it was to, celebrate now Judge Emil Bovee being able to get in. What I found pretty special about it is Mike Davis gave some words and the judge gave some words. And the judge said, which is absolutely true, when you go through confirmation processes like this, it can feel so lonely. They were throwing everything at this guy to keep him out. I mean, attacking him, his personal life, family. And it was Article 3 project, Mike Davis, the War Room posse that were so loud in his corner. And he talked about this. He said, look, I would go home and just be so down. I'd look on the internet. I had this army behind me online of people I don't even know who were supporting me. And that is the power of this War Room and what we need to be doing and focusing on, because we have a problem. There are certain senators, like you had Tom Tillis saying, what was it, like a week or two ago, saying, I'm going to stand up against President Trump and his nominees so much harder than even Mitt Romney did. And these are the type of people, and Bill Cassidy and others, that are blocking some of these great Trump nominees who are immensely qualified. You just have these, career bureaucrat or politicians who just hate MAGA, they hate the movement, and they're Republicans in name only who just want to block these folks from coming in. And so, frankly, you have 144 nominees now pending. This is outrageous. And the Senate should not have a recess without triggering President Trump's recess appointment authority. So either stay in session in August and do your damn job, or let President Trump make recess appointments to fill his team, because he needs his team in there. President Trump has had the most successful first 6 months that has ever existed in a presidential history. Can you imagine if he had his full team operating and in there, what could get done? That is why they want to block these folks from coming in, and that is why President Trump and John Thune and Mike Johnson should steamroll this and get these folks through and stay in August and get it done.
You're pretty unique, Caroline. I think that you keep your hand on, you talk to grassroots leaders every day, the MAGA leaders, of what they're working on, what they need for funding, how it's going with them. You're also very close, obviously, with the donors. Walk me through the importance of keeping people with the program by sticking the landing on this Tulsi Gabbard situation, and in that process, getting some resolution to the Epstein situation. Ma'am.
Guys, this is so massive. I want to show you this that just came out as well. One of James Clapper's cronies threatened to withhold a promotion of a senior intelligence official if that official did not go along with Obama's Russia collusion hoax per docs. Obama and his henchmen were blackmailing officials to push their fake intelligence. He said, I need you to say you agree with these judgments so that the DIA will go along with them. That's what Clapper's crony said. He told the officials he would need to demonstrate his ability to outgrow his refusal to sign off on assessments, and he did not believe in order to be recommended for a promotion. Tell me the government's corrupt without telling me the government's corrupt, guys. Gee, all this stuff is just being released, guys. We're figuring all this stuff out today because the Durham Annex reports have been released. They've been declassified. Arrest these people. You just saw it on the screen, what they're about to talk about. The Soros alleged ties to Russiagate exposed in declassified annex of the Durham report. Guys, is this not insane that everybody on the inside is just showing you how corrupt the government that we've been living under, that they told us, trust us, give us more money, give us more power because we truly care about you. No, they care about a political agenda.
Well, this was an interesting thing that just came out now, because the last time I was on your show, I said Tulsi Gabbard just, did what Durham never could do over, the course of that 2-year investigation. Tulsi put it all out in a day. You kind of defended Durham and said, oh, well, you didn't defend it. You said, wait a minute, they didn't fully put out what his report was. Well, that is what just came out today, I think. Now, I haven't gotten to read all of it, but my understanding is that they finally fully declassified a lot of the things that Durham did work on and put it out in the public. But it does beg the question of, like, why didn't they do this originally? And so I'm so glad. This is why appointments matter. Your cabinet matters. And so Mike Pompeo and others wanted to block this for forever. So cheers to John Ratcliffe and truly Tulsi Gabbard, who has been in the driver's seat on this, saying, no, I'm not going to stop until you declassify and put this out and show some transparency. So I want to pour through all of this. It seems to be what we have always put together and known, which is that, this entire Russia hoax started between Obama and the Clinton campaign colluding to try and take down Donald Trump and to destroy his presidency. But the people and the public deserve and need to know the weaponization that our own government did against a duly elected president. And so, again, I'm so thrilled right now with Tulsi Gabbard. I applaud Kash Patel for working on this as well. This is the cabinet that we push so hard for, and this is the transparency that we want to see.
How important is it? We're fighting this redistricting right now. And, we're fighting for 5 seats in Texas. We're fighting for 5 in Florida and a couple more. I think you get up to 14 or 15 seats. And
remember, the reason, because I want to bring context to that. Now that we are removing so many, like literally over 1 million illegals have self-deported. They've already removed like 200,000 illegals from the United States. Remember, in the Census Bureau, they count illegals as citizens in the number of House seats. So what he's talking about is now that Texas and a lot of other states are redistricting, they're trying to make sure we win the midterms. And we're going to show you guys, this is massive what's happening with the redistricting and with a lot of people saying that, dang, a lot of these Democrat places, they didn't have all the people that they thought they did. It was all illegals. Again, so corrupt, guys, and we're seeing this all firsthand because of our president and his cabinet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm telling you, if we keep moving forward like this, we're gonna see a massive, huge red wave.
Even when you get the redistricting, you still need the hardest core of the hardcore, the people that do the canvassing, the people that back Scott Presler, the people that do the precinct strategy, the vanguard, right, of the movement, of the ones that do the most work, right? And it's laborious. They don't get paid. They're volunteer. They do it for the spirit of the country. You've got to keep those people motivated. If they get cynical, if they get apathetic, if they just say, if 10% of those people say it's too much and I haven't seen anything, it's all talk, you're finished. Give me a minute on that before you go to break, ma'am.
I would be remiss right now not to mention the fact that I would like to see a little bit of a harder fight. I mean, you're talking about the base and people have worked on this. Tina Peters is still sitting in a prison cell right now. Tyler Boyer is still under indictment in Arizona. We still have these electors under indictment, bleeding out money, getting chased down in Arizona, Michigan. Fannie Willis, by the way, the Georgia case has not gone away. We still have these Georgia electors. I'm talking to some of these folks. They're getting buried in legal bills. We as a party, we as a MAGA movement, we need to do more to go help those people, help with their legal bills, and tell Trump should stop the funding to any of them. I mean, we use every single tool in the book. We cannot leave these people to be hung to dry out there right now. And so I want to reiterate that. I want to do more with you, Steve, to come up with a plan.
Well, the state of Georgia, so you got all kind of ways that you can do this, and I think it's a federal. It's part of it's a federal. You got state, you got federal. It could be all dropped immediately, particularly these charges. Yeah. And Tina Peters, she's still rotting in a prison.
Guys, let me tell you this again. I bring the receipts, guys, of what's going on. This is massive. So the group suing federal chair Jerome Powell just formally demanded the release. That he released a transcript of yesterday's closed-door meeting where they dubiously refused to cut interest rates. For the first time in 32 years, 2 sitting members of Federal Reserve Board of Governors publicly dissented from the sitting Fed chair by voting against Powell and voting for an immediate rate cut. What are they hiding, guys? I want to say thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, where is Bondi? Is she hiding? So much is happening. She just disappeared from the radar. It's all strategic delay, except when she is fighting to keep fluoride in the water. Y'all show Andy some love in the chat. I think she should be giving daily updates over all the corruption that we're finding, over the release of these files, guys. It's so crazy that we have so much being exposed right now, but it always goes down to one person. Who's that one person who's in charge of actually prosecuting everybody? It's going to be Pam Bondi. Let me know in the chat, does she got it? Is she going to be able to do it? Does she have what it takes? Because right now, guys, Trump is just continuing to bring in the wins, but he's not playing around. I mean, the amount of economic wins that we're going to get is going to be great. I have no doubt Trump is going to make that happen one way or another. But when it comes to the actual convictions, prosecutions, that's a different story. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, check this out.
The Panicans got it wrong again.
Up 3%, up 3%. Better than expected. That would be the highest level since the third quarter of 24 when it was up 3.1%. On the consumption side, up 1.4, very close to estimates. Up 1.4 would be the best since the last quarter of 24.
The economy is roaring, and we're a golden ticket away from the golden age. But the guy with the tickets is holding us hostage. 3%, way better than expected. Too late, must now lower the rate. 47 says too late, Jerome's costing the country a fortune.
Each point that this gentleman keeps up costs us $365 billion a year. Think of that. 1 point, $365 billion. If you bring it down a point, we save 365. I call him too late. You know, he's always too late. Even if he does it today, probably won't. For what reason? Nobody knows.
So what did the Fed chair do? Nothing.
In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged.
Did this guy get hit in the head renovating the Fed? 3% growth, low unemployment, business investment booming, and inflation's only at 2.1%. 2.1. And unlike Bidenomics, wages are growing faster than inflation. And also, unlike Bidenomics, we're creating jobs for Americans, not illegals. Americans have gained 2 million jobs, and illegals have lost 500,000. And what do you know? The fruit's not dying on the vine. So, what's Powell's excuse this time? He cut 3 times last year for Biden-Harris, and their inflation rate was higher than Trump's. It's got to be personal, because he cut when he was told to by Pocahontas.
Ooh.
He said he waited too long, and the best way you can show that you waited too long and that you get it and that you are becoming more responsive to where we are on interest rates is actually go ahead and do a nice big rate cut.
Today at the rate meeting, there was a mutiny. 2 governors who want to cut voted against Jerome. That hasn't happened since 1993. Clinton hadn't even met Lewinsky yet.
And it does show how Fed Chair Powell, he's not just facing pressure from the White House to cut interest rates, he's also facing pressure from some of his colleagues inside this building.
Chuck Schumer, who doesn't even know how to grill a burger, is accusing Trump of putting out fake numbers.
While the Trump administration will try to wave rosy headlines about the Q2 number, today's GDP number is in fact a mirage.
A mirage is when you see things that aren't there, like Joe Biden in the White House. The entire Democrat Party is a mirage. You take away USAID, illegals, and mail-in ballots, and there's no there there.
Guys, such savage, guys. America last policies, guys. I got to show you what Trump posted, because again, you take away the tariffs, you take away all the stuff that they've been fighting Trump on. Look at this. To all my great lawyers who have fought so hard to save our country, good luck in America's big case today. If our country was not able to protect itself by using tariffs against tariffs, we would be dead with no chance of survival or success. Thank you for your attention to this matter. How in the world, think about everybody that's been wrong about what Trump's been trying to do with the economy. And yet, even whenever we are explicitly winning, the GDP is 3%, inflation is low, economy is booming, real wages are up, that they still say, okay, well, now it's a lie. So it was okay whenever it looked good for Biden and Jerome Powell was cutting interest rates, but now we can't cut interest rates because everything's a lie. Even though it's under the same person, Jerome Powell, guys. Like, it is mind-blowing to see how much these people will just lie no matter what.
CNBC panicans are mocking Chuck and Pocahontas.
Senator Elizabeth Warren will come on and say inflation's out of control and the economy is getting killed by what's happening by these tariffs. This 3% with the market at new highs, and really we haven't seen inflation, but none of these horrible things have happened, but they still talk like it's happening. It's amazing.
There's an important lesson there. Don't pick a congressman to be your money manager. The Democrats, of course, as you pointed out, really don't want to see the current administration have some success. But there's no doubt that this is some success.
Don't pick a congressman to be your money manager, except Pelosi. More on her later.
But guys, I do want to show you this real quick because this is actually catching a lot of news too. That Louisiana Medicare millionaire bought a Lamborghini while claiming government benefits for years. Guys, this Lamborghini right here is a $400,000 vehicle. The Lamborghini Urus. Like, this is the stuff that, again, Democrats said it's not happening. Don't believe it. Fake news. That Medicare, they're trying to cut Medicare because they're just trying to hurt people. There's not fraud in Medicare. There's not fraud in Social Security. This is just one person that's being exploited now because, again, stole so much money from Medicare, she became a millionaire, and now, I mean, she literally bought a Lamborghini, guys. Again, a 400, that's as much as a house. Like, this is nuts. And this is the thing. Again, they want to say that all this is fake news. No, we bring you the receipts. All this, there's so much fraud that needs to be cleaned out. People are corrupt in Washington, D.C., and we need to see arrest.
Media is admitting that Trump is winning. Numbers don't lie, and the deals keep coming. We have just concluded a deal with the country of Pakistan, whereby Pakistan and the United States will work together on developing their massive oil reserves. We're going to drill, baby, drill in Pakistan after they harbored bin Laden, or as Obama says, Pakistan. And Trump says he just got a deal with South Korea. 15% tariff rate. They buy our energy and invest here in America, and they open up their whole market. POTUS is bringing the doubters on notice.
Critics said that our tariffs would hurt the economy, but the data shows the exact opposite, and the exact opposite is happening. Foreign imports were down 30% in the second quarter, while the domestic auto production surged by a stunning 36%.
Wow.
How about that number, Dr. Oz, right? That's good.
All the good news is making Democrats blow a fuse. Their attacks are falling flat, so they're turning on each other like the Real Housewives.
The Democratic Party needs a wake-up call. It's time for Democrats to have a backbone. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to draw lines. Don't question my integrity. Don't question my motives. I'm standing for Jersey. I am standing for my police officers. I'm standing for the Constitution, and I'm standing for what's right. And dear God, if you want to come at me that way, you're going to have to take it up with me.
Rules for men, control your emotions. You never see Trump lose his cool, even when they arrested him and put him on trial. The great Paul Moreau quoted Ernest Hemingway on the 5 and said, "Don't confuse movement with action."
Ooh.
Democrat Dan Turrentine, rhymes with wine, agrees.
You have Booker who keeps giving angry speeches, right? He doesn't do anything. He doesn't offer anything. He just screams fight. So he's the hysteria caucus right now.
Democrats were texting reporters during Spartacus's screed that they were rhymes with hissed. They were calling him a theater kid, and an attention rhymes with door.
There's a way to change a bill. And then there's a way to get in the opening segment of Morning Joe and on the front page of the New York Times. And Corey chose the latter rather than the former.
Guys, everybody's turning on themselves. I got to show you these pictures. Now, these are fake pictures, but these are, you know how we got the alligator Alcatraz that's coming out? They've already got one, but this is, you know, Trump said he wants to have Obama indicted. So this is basically Obama's mugshot. We got Kamala Harris's mugshot. And you're going to love the next one because we got, Hillary Clinton's mugshot. Guys, sometimes you just got to have some fun, okay? You just got to have some fun. These are, you know, fake pictures. You got Nancy Pelosi's mugshot. If you appreciate this, guys, have a good laugh. Put an LOL in the chat. Because, again, too, stuff like this may be coming. You've already seen it. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff today. This is hilarious. We got Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Look, want to have some fun, but I'm telling you, the stuff that's been released today is insane. Lydia Erickson, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Say, got here late. We'll have to watch the first half on replay. Doing a great job, Joel. Thank you for bringing us the truth. Thank you so much, Lydia. I got you. Show Lydia some love in the chat.
Corey's my senator, and all he does is yell at me. If that's all it takes, then we might as well elect Jessica Tarlov. Just like Mayor Pete's beard, this isn't working. With guys like Booker, Beto, and Buttigieg getting in cat fights with Amy Klobuchar, no wonder Democrats feel like they don't have any men in their party. According to a new survey, they can't name a single Democrat more masculine than Barack Obama. Barry, who crosses his legs and is glad he never had a son. That Barry, who said boys should stop playing sports and take their gay friend to the theater. That Barry. So Democrats are forced to role play. Swalwell's hitting the weights, and now he's calling out Gutfeld. Quote, here's a deal for Gutfeld. The deal, if tough guy benches more than me for 10 reps, I'll leave Congress. If not, he leaves Fox News. I'll give Greg 48 hours to accept, and then I'm calling him Gutlessfeld. Gutfeld's an old man, Congressman. Take it easy on him. Democrats are like little orphan Annies. Their father got cooed and disappeared into Delaware, and now their mom left home. Kamala just made a big announcement. Quote, after deep reflection, I've decided that I will not run for governor in this election. For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office.
Look, nobody wants Kamala Harris. We've already seen a preview. Nobody wants it. We're ready to move on. Again, so much stuff, guys. Oh, this is so big. Kathy Brewer, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, love your podcast, Joe. I can't wait to see Perp Walk of Hillary and Barry. Y'all show some love to Kathy in the chat. Guys, this Soros alleged ties to Russiagate exposed in declassified annex of the Durham report. Open Society, his foundation, which is funded partly by our tax dollars because it's an NGO, was used to then do a help fund the Russia collusion hoax against our sitting president that we love, President Trump. Like, this is so bad, what we're seeing. And again, too, people, no matter what you say, guys, Trump is killing it. Securing the border, not an issue anymore. The economy, with what you're about to see next, it's getting even better. And everybody cannot, and nobody can deny it, not even the Democrats. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Well, folks, the good news keeps rolling in for the Trump economy, and numbers never lie. The economy, it's accelerating. Inflation, it's cooling. Unemployment, it's low. America finally throwing its weight around. All right, while the data beats expectations, President Trump's tariff gamble is paying off in cold, hard cash.
This year, the U.S. is going to take in probably a minimum of $300 billion of tariff income, which will bring, that's 1% in terms of the GDP. So I think we could substantially bring down our deficit to GDP.
Yes.
$150 billion in tariff revenue so far, with $300 billion, that's the low end now, projected by year's end. This is a direct blow to the deficit without raising taxes a single cent on American families. And time is running out for those countries who haven't to try to make a deal. The president's message is loud and clear. August 1st means August 1st. The deadline will not be extended, so buckle up. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is set to make a big decision on rate cuts in just under 2 hours. Edward Lawrence is live for us from the White House with the latest. Hi, Edward.
Hey, Jackie, yeah, widely expected to be a pause here, but the Fed Reserve Chairman, he says he's concerned about the one-time price increase of tariffs, which potentially could lead to more inflation. Now, the White House economic advisors are saying, well, look, we're not seeing any inflation, and tariffs have been in place for at least 6 months without signs of that. So they say if you look at inflation down from January and the slowing housing market, there should be at least one rate cut, while market experts, though, look for signals from the Fed today. Listen to this.
He's not going to cut now, but are we lining up for a rate cut in September? That's what everybody wants to know. And he probably won't cut today, and he'll probably get some mean tweets from Trump as we move along.
So on True Social already, President Trump talking about the GDP estimate at 3% for the second quarter says, too late, must lower the rate, no inflation, let people buy and refinance their homes. But the Fed chairman will look at the GDP growth and see an economy moving along nicely. He will look at jobs report, beating expectations every month during the Trump administration, and low inflation as a basis for a pause. Each year at Jackson Hole, the Federal Reserve Chairman historically uses that speech to reset monetary policy. He could be setting up a reset for rate cuts this year. Now, in a statement from the White House press secretary, it says that the data is clear and there are no more excuses. Now is the time for too late Powell to cut the rates. Another rate pause would obviously not sit well with this president or the White House.
Guys, again, it's all in, like, what I hate, guys, is that this nothing that you're seeing here is because, oh, it makes sense. How could you do 3 rate cuts last year, but yet you won't do anything this year? And that's why, again, too, that Jerome Powell's being sued right now. The group suing federal chair Jerome Powell just formally demanded the release of the transcript of yesterday's closed-door meeting because two of the sitting members of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors publicly dissented from the sitting federal chair by voting against Powell, and they called for an immediate cut. There's nothing in this makes sense. This is like, again, politics affects real people, affects our wallet, interest rates. People are paying more for their houses or for their cars because of interest rates. We're 38th, literally, in line. Number 1 has the lowest. We're 38, and we just have such high interest rates compared to everybody in the world, and we're the United States of America. Are you kidding me? Denise Clark Custom Art, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, woke up late, but better late than never, waiting on official arrest. Trump is doing an amazing job with the resistance he faces. OG of the channel. Guys, show Denise some love in the chat. I'm waiting for it, guys. I may pull out the MAGA hat, guys, for that day whenever we finally see the arrest. The evidence is undeniable. And now the economic evidence is undeniable that they're holding back. And it's so important because I want to show you this real quick. What's coming in the midterms, the interest rates and everything that you're seeing, it's all going to tie in together for Trump to get the red wave that he wants. But he needs interest rates to get lower so that people can refinance their house, refinance their car, save money, and feel the economic effect of what Trump is doing. Watch what's happening right now. And this is beautiful, guys.
It could make a huge difference. This, in fact, could win or maintain control for the Republicans in the House of Representatives. What are you talking about? Well, Texas has 38 congressional districts. Look at those that Trump won last year by at least 10 percentage points. Under the current lines, it's 25. Under the proposed lines, it's 30. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 potential pickup opportunities for the Republican Party. They are playing hardball at this particular point. And right now, it seems to me that Democrats are actually playing close to the Little League Pee-wee.
So 5 seats. What would 5 seats in Texas do for Republicans in Congress overall?
You might think 5 seats is just 5 seats. But keep in mind this. Margins of spare for the House majority. In 2020, the Democrats had 4 seats. 2022, Republicans had 4 seats. This time around, 2 seats for Republicans out of the 2024 elections. 5 seats can make all the difference in the world, and that is why Republicans in Texas providing 5 pickup seat opportunities could, in fact, make the difference between Republicans losing control of the House of Representatives and maintaining control of the House of Representatives.
And some voting shifts within Texas might be adding fuel to this.
Exactly right. They wouldn't necessarily be able to do this if, in fact, Republicans, Donald Trump did not do so much better among Latino voters last time around than he did in 2020, because 4 of the pickup opportunities are majority Hispanic seats. In 2024, get this, Donald Trump actually won Latino voters by 10 points in Texas. In 2020, it was Joe Biden who won him by 17 points. That's nearly a 30-point switcheroo. So this, in my mind, is fueling these potential pickup opportunities for Republicans. As I said at the beginning of this, Republicans are playing hardball. It's going to be interesting to see if Democrats can actually answer this, or are they going to be stuck in the little leagues.
It could be. I'm telling you guys, everything that you're seeing, I'm showing you, they're getting ready for the red wave. Pretty Butterfly 2010, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said drop popcorn or fireworks for that big day. I love it.
Scrambled data. Make sense of this for me.
Like, how do you, like, I don't know people that do, but how can you take the New York Times seriously? Okay, we had a small decline in the first quarter and then a 3% print this quarter, the first quarter that Trump's for president. We've had tariffs almost the entire time. How did tariffs scramble data? And I just think it's really hard for people to admit they're wrong. And when it comes to Trump, it's almost impossible for everybody, except for like Bill Maher, who basically was out the other day saying I was completely wrong about this. Right. Well, almost everybody was completely wrong about what these tariffs are going to do. This GDP report, this is a good number, but it's in the past. I think the future's only going to get better. And like when you talk about what's gone underreported, in my opinion, is Lee Zeldin and the endangerment finding. The Obama administration ran a quick study and in 2009 awarded themselves the power to regulate greenhouse gases. Okay, now that that's going away, that can cost hundreds of billions of dollars a year out of the economy in environmental regulations. That's gone. Right. It's going to take some time for these things to kick in, as well as the other deregulation, but that's one of the largest deregulatory acts in the history of our country. In like all this foreign investment that we're going to see coming in, there's very little from data centers in this GDP report. You're going to start to see massive numbers in that. So the best days are way in front of us, not behind us.
Yeah, remarkable when you think about it, what Lee Zeldin did at the EPA. Brian, one more, because I just can't help myself sometimes. Okay. This is Chuck Schumer on the GDP number.
And while the Trump administration will try to wave rosy headlines about the Q2 number, today's GDP number is in fact a mirage because some ominous numbers lurk under the hood.
Cue you.
Well, you know, every morning I get up and for my economic news, I want to see what Chuck Schumer said. Right. Because he's just a great guy in the economy. This is so funny. Chuck Schumer says it's a made-up number, okay? Number one, he can't defend that. He just says it's made up. Number two, this number presages what's coming in the second half of the year because now the U.S. economy is going to get the benefit of all of these full expensing of factories and capital equipment, right? So if you look at this GDP number, some people who are actually honest said, well, Matt, private investment kind of fell a little bit in this report. And it did, a little bit. But the bill Chuck Schumer didn't vote for in the Senate which gives businesses rocket fuel to invest, is going to reverse whatever little blip we saw in this Q2 report and is going to bury the projections that Chuck Schumer just made. Yeah. All the anti-growth people have revealed their cards, and they're holding a completely empty hand, and they can't stand the fact that Trump got 3% in the second.
And we're going to...
Guys, anti-growth. Right now, the Democrats literally have exposed themselves that they would rather the America not grow, not win, to spite Trump, which in turn spites the American people, because we all live under President Trump, not just Republicans or MAGA, but Democrats as well. We all live under President Trump and his cabinet and his administration. So right now, everybody that's coming out and saying this is wrong, it's mind-blowing. But we're going to remind everybody, come midterms, that those people that literally pushed for America to fall, they need to be voted out.
Play these sound bites and hold their feet to the fire when we do see the growth materialize in a more meaningful way as you talk about these policies and they start kicking in. But Lydia, all eyes are on the Fed today. As Edward Lawrence points out, Trump has said he wants a 300 basis point cut. I don't even think we're going to get a cut today. Having said that, he might not be happy about it, but maybe Powell will indicate that the tea leaves show us we'll get something in September.
Yeah, and I was, taking a look at some of the numbers and kind of backing up and thinking about some of the other numbers that we've gotten this week and I think this really is setting the stage for a rate cut, in my humble opinion. I mean, the slowing in spending, I think that's what Chuck Schumer was referring to, and that what you just mentioned, Brian. It was there. It wasn't dramatic, but I mean, if anything, that should give Jerome Powell some comfort that a rate cut would be he could make that rate cut because he doesn't have to worry about inflation if we have a slowdown in spending on both the retail front, but from individuals and also from the business front. The other thing, too, I was thinking about is jobs. The Fed is always so motivated about what is the state of the job market, right? Yeah. And we have seen just this week that the JOLTS report out yesterday showed that there's some weakness. We haven't gone off a cliff yet. The Trump administration has added jobs back, but job openings weakened, hiring slower than expected, and a small business survey from earlier this month showed that small businesses, one of their top concerns is labor. That's also in line with kind of a weakening labor market too, not that it is weak. But if the Fed is really just kind of sticking by these mandates of price stability and maximum employment, it seems to me that that's really setting the stage for a rate cut in the
Just really quick,
future.
It's super sad though that our Fed thinks they have to break the economy before they lower interest rates.
True.
That to me, that's the model that's broken
guys,
with the Fed.
bombshell.
I agree with your analysis, but it's the wrong analysis.
But if we're going to play by their rules from right now, I'm just saying that I think it gives them very little room to get away from a rate cut in the near future.
David, can you put it all in context, all of this that we're talking about, the Fed, the growth, but also the tariff revenue, the policies that the president has implemented, the big, beautiful bill, the tax cuts for Americans, it's all working. He's not tired of winning. The people who voted for him are not tired of winning, and it continues to happen every day.
Well, you know who's losing all the time are the experts. The experts suggested the estimate was 2.4% growth. By the way, hat tip to the folks at First Trust, economist Brian Westbury, who we know, and Robert Stein, his deputy. They got it exactly right. They came out yesterday saying it would be 3% because they do exactly what Brian just did. They focus on the supply side. They focus on the fact that incentives matter. And the incentives that we have seen over the past 6 months to the private sector in the United States of America have been phenomenal. We haven't seen incentives on deregulations, on tax cuts. As these trade deals begin to roll in, the disincentives on the tariffs are taken up by new trade deals, which is giving even more revenue. All of those incentives have led to a growth that went right over the head of these classical economists, 95% of whom are in the Federal Reserve right now. That has to be swept out of there because they keep getting it wrong. If the Fed keeps getting it wrong, what they do is affect rates that are going to affect your lives. Your lives when you try to buy a house, your lives when you try to buy a car, your lives if you're struggling to get a loan from the bank to start a business, to fulfill the American dream. The experts are the ones who are getting it wrong. A guy who has real life experience in business like Donald Trump is the one who's getting it right. And thank God we have an economist on the panel right now who also understands the importance of incentives. I'm talking about Brian right here, because these are the people, you want to go with people who get it right. You don't want to go with the people who continually get it wrong. And that, I'm putting a target right on the Fed economists, because they're the ones who've just been doing a terrible job at getting it right.
Guys, again, it's like, it's hilarious because, again, how many times do you have to be wrong before you just do what Trump said? And regardless if he gets the "I told you so," America wins. That to me is what's most important. But the people aren't concerned about that. It's mind-blowing. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This is just, we're living in some crazy times. So much has dropped today, guys. We just want to bring you all the truth, all the breaking news. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at True Life News. We want to serve you every day with the top news. We are living through some big times, guys. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that supports our channel. I want to give some special love to our members, to those that support our channel through the super chats. I want to thank you so much, Sherry Smith, Eaters of Dead, Andy, Lydia Erickson, Kathy Brewer, Jeff the Truth, Denise Clark, Custom R. Show Denise some love in the chat, as well as Pretty Butterfly. Guys, show some love in the chat. Thank you to all of our members. We are seeing some evidence just being dropped, big bombshell breaking news, but now it's time for the Justice Department to do their dang job. Hold them accountable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for sharing and liking our videos. We love, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.